overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Super excited to have you all here today. And as you can see, we have our Freestyle Friday experts. How are you, Natasha Halliday?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I do see what you had sent me right back here, ready to go. I don't see the full image, but we'll see how it comes up. And Sharon D. Brown, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Doing great and doing even better now that you're here. And let's see sunshine expert Athena Robertson. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. Good to be here.
Good. I'm so glad to have you. And I got the opportunity to see you yesterday. So I'm super excited to see your face, especially when I get to see you in person. I'm like, get out of here. Your sunshine even radiates more in person than what permeates through the screen. I'm serious.
Oh, thank you. Praise God.
Yes. You bring a certain kind of vibrance to the environment wherever you are. And the same with you, Sharon. I saw you one time recently and I was like, look at her. Sharon is like the epitome of what she's talking about, preaching and teaching about self-care. Sharon D. Brown, she shows up. When she shows up, I'm like, Sharon, I didn't even know you roll like that. You look good. You look good, Sharon. I'll be like, you look good, girl.
Come on, Miss Sharon.
Like you're on the Brady Bunch, right? You got to look at the right square. Sharon, you look good, girl. You look good.
Thank you.
Natasha, you know what? I love bringing you back here as many times as you're willing to come because you literally are, I believe, a great mental health balancing act, if that makes sense. You provide calm in the storm.
Thank you.
I love that.
And I love coming back.
Thank you. I think it's such a big deal. And I know you're in Canada, so I haven't seen you face to face, but when I over, I'm definitely going to call you and say, hey, let's connect for lunch. Okay.
For sure.
So thank you for being here because you do bring so much mental resolve. I didn't mute y'all. I muted myself. I'm like, oh, you muting the wrong person right this. I'm trying to mute me for a bit. Okay. Listen, we're so glad to have you all here and honored today is Freestyle Friday. You all know what that means. It means that we can talk about any of the topics that you like to discuss. There are really no topics that's off limits, but we always have a topic of choice. And today, Sharon D. Brown came up with our topic, self-care, your way to success. Oh yeah, that's a great topic.
I love it.
So as you
great topic, Sharon.
Isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you. What made you come up with that topic, Sharon?
Pretty much it's something that I've been thinking about for a little bit, and especially since I'm in these, I call it entrepreneurship streets. In that, even though we think about success, like the money, the car, and the house, and all of the things that being successful can buy, but what I've come to realize is not only in achieving those things, but it's also in having this success within ourselves. And that's the piece I think that people miss is, how sometimes people can talk about the journey along the way. And that's where success is the things that we gain and the tools that we need within ourselves in order to have and be successful in life.
I love that. Yes. And I agree with everything that you're sharing. So if we can get those tools, then we'll know how to better be equipped to manage ourselves better, right? And yes. So that's what's happening here today. Some of the tools that you're going to have in your tool bag to utilize when you need it. Not every tool do we need even though it's available to us, we don't need it at that moment. But when we need it, we need to know what we can go to immediately to have immediate resolution. So I love that. From your perspective, Natasha, when it comes to self-caring your way to success, I know y'all are going to share your points and tips, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, what I would start with, and I'm going to focus on this a bit more later, is personalizing your self-care. Because sometimes what we do is we learn self-care tips, we try to apply them to ourselves, but it doesn't mean they always work for us. Right. So we've got to kind of try different things and figure out what actually works for you. And then more focus on those versus what the Google search says is what to do about self-care.
Absolutely. And I agree with that too. I talk about it in one of the books that I have, Extreme Balance Makeover, and it's on kimjacobshow.com. It's all of the tips that I was sharing on NBC when I was their balance expert. But one of the things that I say in there is that no two households are alike. So what works in your household may be disastrous in someone else's. So that's why things have to be customized when it comes to balancing your life in some regard. You know, I really appreciate you saying that. And sunshine expert Athena, what are your thoughts on self-caring your way to success?
Oh, awesome. It's on me. Yes.
You always ready, so don't even try.
I am ready. I am ready. For me, when I was given the topic, when as always, when you say, sis, you coming on, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, oh, what's the topic? So this was such a good topic because before we can self-care our way to success, we have to know what self-care is for us. What does that mean for you as a person? And then once you realize, again, like my sister said, Natasha, personalizing it, once you know that, then you can move forward and now you see the road ahead. I see the light at the end of the tunnel because I've already and mastered this to a certain degree that I'm taking care of my mind, body, soul, and spirit. So now I can start to pave the way and make the way towards success. So once you take care, knowing that self-care starts with you first. It starts with you first, and then you can move forward to success.
Booyah. Everything is a common theme here, that it starts with you first. And then from there, you can start to filter out and help other people. But until we learn for ourselves how to be able to properly take care of ourselves, our mind, our body, our spirit, it's hard to really help anybody else. And so in the virtual studio audience, please put some comments as to what self-care your way to success means to you, and we'll be popping those comments up throughout today's broadcast. We will on this episode attempt to take some commercial breaks, but for whatever reason the system sometimes glitches when we're doing that, when more people are on. So let's take an attempt right now to hear from our first episode sponsor. And Mackenzie, before you play it, Mackenzie's backstage, I'm just going to put the information up about our sponsor, and then we're going to take a commercial break. Wait 1 second. Our episode sponsor today is Hunter Everett Law Firm. If you are dealing with disability, or you're dealing with wrongful death of a loved one, or you may be dealing with a workers' compensation claim or something, and you're trying to figure out this thing, you can reach out to them at 704-457-5000. 704-457-5000. And let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. And they are really a great group in the Carolinas area. They're in Richmond, Virginia area, and they're also in the Alabama area. So definitely give them a call. And at this time, we're going to actually see our episode sponsor, Hunter Everett Law Firm. We'll be right back, everybody.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, we are back. And I can see on my phone that it's working okay, but I think it's just some interesting stuff over here on StreamYard today, okay? But I love StreamYard, so don't get me wrong. Anyway, let's see. Did anybody put any comment as to what self-care your way to success actually means? And if so, pull it up. And even if not, just pull any of the comments that's coming in into today's discussion. And we'll recognize you all. Let's see. You're saying good morning. I see you saying good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. And anyone that's on today, we are glad to have you. We see all of your comments flowing in. Someone said good morning and beautiful, beautiful. You know, I don't have my glasses. Lord have mercy, I had to get my glasses. Can somebody read y'all? One of y'all read the thing. Somebody.
Good morning, beautiful ladies. That's from my sister, our reinventing queen, Arnetta.
Oh, that's Arnetta. Okay, Lord. I'm like, Lord, girl, I can't see. So, this is reinventing right here is reinventing myself because I need to be realistic. These reading glasses need to be on my face if I'm reading a comment. So it comes into the knowledge of the truth. You walk therein, right? So glad to have you, Arnetta. Glad to have you. And I see all of your comments coming in. Let's go ahead and get started with Sharon. Sharon, you are our self-care expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on self-care and your way to success.
Yeah, the other thing that I want to add too is that not only in determining like what self-care means for you, but also what success means to you as well. Because like I said, a lot of times people look at it from an external point of view, but it really takes the internal that helps with the external success that you have. And so like one way of looking at it too is that when it comes to self-care, it's like, what do you need for yourself to have discipline? What do you need in order to make decisions? And what do you need to be dedicated to fun, family, and your finances? And that takes a lot of stuff. Sometimes the bubble baths and the massages, it can help relax you, but what's going to get you in that mood where your emotions won't get in the way in making a urgent decision? And because sometimes, you know, like we know that life happens. And so in saying that, even when life happens, especially even if you have a 9 to 5 job or if you running your own business, sometimes it's almost like two things may need to happen at the same time. And, you know, we may need to not quite completely not feel our feelings, but we may not be able to be in that feeling at the moment to make some urgent decisions, whether it's personal or regarding your job, your 9 to 5, or your own business. So, yeah, knowing what success means to you, and then know that it's the internal parts of ourselves that's going to help us get there, sustain there, and maintain there.
Yes. Yeah. This is our self-care expert, Sharon D. Brown, who's sharing that's just one tip. Okay. Knowing what success and self-care actually means to you, because it's two different things. So I see some of you that's still joining. Make sure you type in the comments section, what does self-caring your way to success actually mean to you? Type it in the comments section and we'll pop your comments up. I see you, Mom, that just joined in. I see you also, Sheila. Glad to have you on, Queen. Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, founder and owner of CTR Media Network, which is a new standard of podcasting for all kind of broadcasters in 350 million households in over 100 countries. So glad to have you all joining us today. Wow. What does success mean to any of us here on the panel too? Because it's just a conversation that we're having, not just put you on the spot, Sharon D. But any thoughts? What does success mean or self-care mean to you all? Either answers.
One of the things I see as success is being able to walk in something that you were aiming for. Sometimes we focus on the big career, big money, but it's like if a vacation is something that I'm hoping for and that happens, that's success to me, because I get to walk out something that I was hoping for, that I was planning for. So for me, success is a lot of the achieving what I wanted to achieve on any level.
I love it. And Sunshine Expert, feel free. And I didn't think of the answers because I didn't know what we were going to be with angle, but I can tell you what it means to me too. So you want me to go first, or you going to go?
Oh.
Okay, I'm like, you muted. Say something.
I know.
Go.
No, so I would success to me meaning accomplishing my goals each day. Each day that I set forth to get up, the minute my feet hit the ground, I pray, I meditate, talk to Jesus. Got to give it all to Jesus first. And then how the rest of my day lays out, how, I'm designed, and to be creative as I can be. and let me say that, and being successful, everybody's journey is different.
Mhm.
So to me, it's all focusing on, what I need to do. I can't look at my sister Sharon and be like, dang, Sharon, she over there getting it. She doing real good. I need to be like her. But everybody's journey is different. I don't know what it took for my sister to get there. So I cannot let that block my focus and only focus on what I need to do and what's going to make me successful to move ahead. So yeah, accomplishing my goals daily is what success looked like to me.
That's really inspiring. I'm so glad to hear that too. I'll also tell you all is for me, when I think of success, I think of the fact that God has given me certain gifts and talents that He expects me to use. And so as I'm walking through my life is really not about me one way or the other. It's actually to be able to build a legacy and leave a legacy for those to follow. And what did I do while I was on this earth to help make a difference in other people's lives? That's important to me. But most important to me is the fact that I have my 5 children. My 5 children are watching me and they are expecting certain things. They are expecting certain things, whether they ever say it or not, especially when you have a child that passes while you I'm not even gonna go down. I'm not because I'll get too off track. But I can tell you that I am not. I'm a determined person to not let anybody under my watch that God has given me from my body leave this earth without them witnessing that their mom did everything that I was supposed to do to fulfill my promise to God on this earth. So I'm leading by example with my children. That is critically important to me, that they can see me doing what I say I'm going to do, that God has put in my spirit to do, and that it inspires them to be their greatest selves as well. Yeah. Very important to me. And then one more piece, success. I gotta tell y'all this. For other women and that are out here in this world, I want all women to know that no matter what your circumstances, your situations, things that happen to us in life, because things do happen to us forced and choice, by force and by choice. When it happens, it's sometimes beyond our control, but we can still get up and make it in this journey called life. That's what it means. All right, somebody else start talking. I done just said a whole bunch. Everybody like, I don't know what you want me to say after that, Kim. Look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and before we take it, we're gonna hear from, so you'll know who we're hearing from. Dr. Jody Bear is actually one of our episode sponsors with Confidence Tones, and everyone that's gotten these confidence tones loves them. I've heard great feedback about it. So people that are coming through the show and going over to get the confidence tones are loving that material and it's doing its own thing over here. And I train people on this stuff, so I know when it's
Welcome to
happening. I'm like,
Confidence
let's use
Tones,
StreamYard.
where we use a
Hi, it's
proprietary
Dr.
audio
Jody.
development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
And we are back. We are back, and I'm excited to be able to say confidence tones. Everyone that's tried them absolutely love them. So check out Dr. Joe D. Bear to get your copy of Confidence Tones today. All right. All right. So, Sharon, I know you were in the middle of making some points. Did you want to make any more of them?
Yeah, one thing that I'd like to add as well, we were talking about achieving our personal goals. And one of the things that come along with that is discipline. And that's one of the things that people don't talk about, because that is a form of self-care, because it takes discipline in order for you to achieve your goals. And it may sound simple, but any of us who are achieving things and wanting to do more in life, whatever it is that, let's say you may have rituals or routines, and it's like, what are you sticking to? What are you doing on a daily basis in order to get to where you want to get to? Because we could say, oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that, but it takes discipline because of the fact, and this is something that I'm working on myself, not saying that I have it 100% either, but it's kind of like doing the thing that you got to do, even though you don't feel like it. That takes discipline. And so it's a form of self-care, because it's going to get you closer to where you want to be and where you want to go. And when you do that, there's something about us when we achieve something, and especially when we're achieving in the glory of God. And so it's not just a matter of, how we say, you're praying, but we're not putting in the work. That's where the discipline comes into play. And I don't think people think about it sometimes as a self-care, because when we don't, there's other things that may fall not in place, but fall out of place, and not in the way that we do it. And so again, I want people to know that self-care, or shall I say discipline, is a form of self-care.
Wow. Somebody type that in the comment section. Discipline is a form of self-care. Discipline is a form of self-care. Don't deprive people of the opportunity. I know we can hear and see the video, and some people can hear the video, but it's even better when we have some notes to go back and reference. So discipline is a form of self-care. What a great point that you're making. All right. And Athena, do you have a point? I know we're going to come back if you have more points as well. I'm just spreading it around, but we're going to just mix it up a little bit here. So Athena Robertson, any points you have that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, so a couple. So as I was meditating on this topic, self-care, know that self-care is not selfish, since we're jumping around. So know that self-care, that doesn't mean that you're selfish if you're taking time for yourself. And I would say for women, because we wear, and men too, but women, we wear so many hats, and we're trying to fulfill everything. We want to be nurturing over here. We parents. I'm a mother of two handsome young fellas. So, over here, I got work, I got ministry, I got business. So spreading out and being involved in everything. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes you can forget to take care of yourself. And like Miss Sharon said, discipline is like a key. That's like a good key factor when it comes to self-care. Is being disciplined and sticking to what you know is going to get you. To me, I call it elevation. What's going to get you to the next step. So I would definitely say some things. I made a little tip sheet, y'all.
Come on with the tips.
I normally have a book, but I made me a whole lot of tip sheet yesterday.
That's what I did with my first book, is literally tips, and you put it in a book, and it becomes a published piece of content on Amazon and everywhere. When you're speaking, girl.
Okay, so all my devotionals. Then I need to go ahead and get that in a book form, because I got a lot. Jesus, I can share with everybody. But I want to say, tap into you with self-care. And as you're working your way to success, tap into you means taking care of you, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially. You're hitting all those areas that are key points. When we sit down having a simple conversation with you ladies, that's a part of self-care, because we're all getting wisdom and nuggets from each other to grow on. I can go back to my notes. Oh, Miss Sharon said about discipline. I need to keep that in the forefront of my daily routine. If I stay disciplined, I'm gonna get here. So I'm gonna stop there and let my sister chime in, and then I'll continue.
All right. There's some good stuff, y'all, that we are hearing on today's episode. And Natasha Halliday is also here with us. Share some tips that you have as well. And we're gonna spread the tips out, so you'll be going back and making more tips. but this is some good food to digest.
Well, one of the things I want to add, especially because as a mental health expert, I often look at mindset. And so I love that Athena touched on self-care is not selfish. That's part of our mindset about self-care. So I wanted to, especially in the idea of looking at self-care for success and for, doing well, is if you think about self-care like your mind is like a cluttered room. Self-care is removing some of that clutter. And what does that do? It creates space for flow and creativity. So part of our self-care actually puts us in a space where we can do more of the things to go in the direction that we want to go, that we can achieve more, that we can create more content or whatever it is that we're trying to do. If our minds are so cluttered, it's like we don't even know where to step. If you picture again that like maybe like a cluttered room. So part of your self-care is how do I create space so that I can access those good ideas because my mind's not bogged down with all the other stuff and cluttered with all the other stuff that might come in and then interfere with that creative process. So I really want to encourage people to think about it from that perspective, that if you engage in your self-care, that gives you the space to do the things that you want to do. And some of the reasons sometimes where we can't be in that creative space is because we're cluttered. And so our self-care is some of the decluttering that we need to do. And like I said earlier, what's specific to you? So not everybody benefits from deep breathing. If that's not your thing, that's okay. It doesn't mean you don't have tactics that can work. It just may be that's not the one for you. So just like, and I know most of y'all can relate to this, trying to find an outfit that fits right because you wonder who they're cutting the clothes for in the store. And that's why people go to tailors and seamstresses, because it's made just for you. Your self-care practice should be made just for you. Learn different things from people, but tapping into yourself to see what really resonates and speaks to you is really important. So you have to know yourself in order to actually engage in a good and effective self-care practice.
I feel like a proud mom over here because the decluttering is so indicative of organizational skills trainings and things of that nature, but rarely do you hear it be associated with self-care. So for you to take it from that perspective, mental health expert Natasha Halliday, she's telling you if you're going to get organized, you're not just going to get organized in your physical environment, but get organized in your self-care environment by decluttering. Please, somebody type that in the comment section. Declutter your life is good for self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? Y'all should be putting that in the comments, dropping some fire and all of that stuff, emojis. Okay, we're learning some great stuff here. I see comments coming in the studio audience. So Mackenzie, you can pop some of them up. Actually, you know what? It's going to work best for me to just read some of them and then you pop it up. Dennis Spraggin says, putting self first, then pour from the overflow will fill with abundance to those who choose to work together. Thank you, Dennis. You didn't type the whole paragraph on here for me to read. He said much love to y'all, and also he wants you to follow hashtag B1. Okay. Sheila said hello, Queens. Dr. Tina Ramsey said hello, and then I see you, Athena, saying good morning, Sunshine Expert, and lots of people on different platforms. I'm only over here on Facebook, and all of your comments. I know I saw you, Mom, as well. I saw quite a few people. So all of you that are putting the comments and typing in those comments, all right. What other tips do you have, Sharon, that we can talk some more about?
Yeah, the other thing too is that when it comes to dedication to fun, because sometimes people forget to have fun, and that's a form of self-care. And then, like I was saying earlier, dedication to family, and also dedication to finances. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, because even though a lot of times people, like we do need the money, like in order to live and to survive in this world. However, a lot of times people may not really look at it that it really has a lot to do with our mental health, and it has a lot to do with even our medical, shall I say, health as well. And it goes down to the decisions that we make, because alongside of being a self-care authority, I'm also a financial freedom crusader. And so in saying that, I work, within the financial services. And when I tell you, when it comes to mental health and medical and physical, or how much that is coincide so much with the money that we make. So it's kind of like, what's the decisions that we're making in order to be healthy, like the food that we're putting in our body, but also how we're setting up our lives financially. I mean, just think about for those of us who went to school, are we setting our kids up to have success, to say, okay, well, let's have this account for them instead of relying on them getting a scholarship. Like, yeah, it's wonderful for them to have a scholarship,
That's right.
but there are things that nowadays we can put in place where, hey, we can help them buy a house. We can help them do these things.
Yes.
Because you know why? Because people are like, oh, that's spoiling them. No, because life is going to happen anyway.
That's
So
right.
let's set them up for success by starting these, should I say, accounts, so that they can have more success. So they don't have to start from zero like a lot of us did, because again, people with money still have problems.
Yep.
So let's help them out in that way. So when we're dedicated to, again, our finances, we're able to really look at what needs to put in place to make sure, one, that you have like life insurance, that other people around us are having life insurance as well.
Very important.
Because when it comes to it, even though the GoFundMe can cover, let's say a funeral, but it cannot take away the emotional piece that people have to get through. And that's the thing, when putting things in place, really, again, it's a self-care act for yourself and for your family when our finances is, let's say, pumping, when our finances are doing better than what we have achieved. So by us going internal, it's okay, I got to be disciplined to save money, to work, to put money in place. So this is where the discipline comes into place too. So again, it is almost like everything really is connected, and
It
it's more
is.
connected than we've ever imagined before.
Oh, okay, you financial freedom rider. Thank you for wearing that hat too today, because you're dropping knowledge. Natasha, tell us some more tips you have today on self-care, your way to success.
So I don't know if I said this last week, but one of the things I want people to think about in terms of self-care is, Athena touched on sometimes how moms will take care of everybody else and not take care of themselves. So sometimes our self-care is reactive, which is why we want to book a weekend away. We want to book a vacation. But I want people to think about this, how we use vitamins versus how we use medicine. Medicine is often to treat something that is existing. We take vitamins to prevent those things from existing in our lives. Our self-care should be like daily vitamins, where we regularly practice things to hopefully offset worse from happening, but also because we need that regular pouring in of that self-care. Because again, like someone said, self-care is not selfish. We can't even offer all the amazing things that we have to others if we're running on empty. So we want to regularly practice those things that feed our soul, that feed our spirit. And I hope people are thinking about self-care from a physical, mental, spiritual, intellectual, like from so many different levels. I can get a lot of good sleep, but if I don't spend time with Jesus, I'm not myself, right? I can get good sleep, do my prayers, but if I'm not eating well, then there's something that's missing, right? So there's different aspects of where we need to be fed and nurtured and ministered to. And so hopefully our self-care is addressing all those areas. So two things, like I said, make it regular practice, like your daily vitamins, to offset worse potentially from happening. We can't control it all, but we can do our part. And applying self-care to the multi dimensions that is part of who you are, whether it's body, soul, mind, spirit, intellect, you name it. But apply your self-care to all those areas.
That's good. Now, when you all become like CNN experts and on Good Morning America and all of this stuff, don't get brand new and act like y'all don't remember where you got your start. Okay. So don't be like, oh, I'm not coming back to the Kim Jacobs show. Be like, really?
Never,
I know you're
always,
coming back. We're
always
going to
part
hear
of the
sometime.
family.
So I want to hear some commitments that, because some people been making it big. You know, they got their group grassroots right here on the Kim Jacobs show, and everybody's been very kind. So I'm not at all suggesting otherwise. I'm just saying, because y'all have some phenomenal tips to share with people. And I believe that God's just going to do tremendous things with you all as you go forward and grow in life. So thank you for being an expert here on the Kim Jacobs show. All right, let's see. Athena Sunshine over there. Give me another tip or two that you have so we can keep on rolling.
Sure. So for me, when we talk about self-care, the way to success, I would say that taking care of you is one. It helps you to focus. It rejuvenates you. It helps you to stay, stress-free, worry-free. Also, make sure that in self-care you're implementing these things in your daily routine of life, like Natasha said, like your mental, like Sharon said, the discipline part, all of that is a major part of self-care, right? So also, my number one thing, y'all, since this year has started, I've been saying celebrate your small adjustments. Anything small leads to big victories.
That's right.
So you want to make sure that you're celebrating you all the time. You want to make sure that you are being patient with yourself. Patience. Please have patience with yourself and allow yourself grace, because ain't nobody perfect. Nobody's perfect. So take your time. That you take your time in learning about you. So I'm excited. I just had a birthday recently, in July. And so thank you. And so, I'm excited of this new chapter, Queens. I'm excited. And gentlemen, I am excited about this new chapter that God has allowed me to see. How much I have grown and mature. Believe me, you grow and you mature every day. That's every day. There's different seasons in your life where one season you're going to feel like you're at the top of the mountain. It might be another season where you feel like you in a valley, you fighting in the trenches. But in that, trust in God. He's going to lead you the right way. And God is with us. He will never leave us nor forsake us. So, he's going to guide you all the way. And, the little things that come up, we just have to learn to be patient with ourselves as well as to give ourselves grace. On my note sheet. So
Come
for
on. Notes.
so some of the tips I would say, if anyone wanted to know, prayer and meditation, I spoke on that. I am big on prayer and meditation. When I get up and God allows me to breathe and I am here, I'm like, Lord, what is your will today? Not Athena's will, but what is your will? Because God, your plan is better than my plan. My plan might be something simple,
Yep.
but God's plan might be something simple, but He has it so creatively, uniquely, like already thought of that I can't even imagine, right? So I'm like, I wake up with expectancy. I get out of my bed, I'm like, Lord, what we doing today? Who am I blessing today? Where are we going? Like, it's an honor. It's always an honor to be on the Kim Jacobs show. I'm so grateful for my sister. I went to a luncheon yesterday, y'all. I went to my first E-Women Network luncheon. And so I was super excited because for example, when she sent the message out, I was like, oh, okay, so it's cool. I was like, well, let me see who I can send this to. I'm sending it to all of the women that I know are business owners. And I got a text back. And it was like, she talking to you too. Ah, shucks. You know what? She
Shut the
is
front
talking
door,
to
right?
me. She is. Okay. I said, okay. And so immediately in that moment, being blessed with the opportunity, I had to put things in place to be there yesterday. Like I had to reach out to my supervisor.
Right.
I'm gonna need an extra hour or two for lunch. Um, can I get your approval on that? I might have to, skip lunch another day, or I might have to use some extra personal time. But things like that, I had to put in place. It was like, okay, what do I need to put in place? I test students. I'm a testing coordinator, so I had to make sure that all my students I had scheduled for Thursday that I could maneuver them to another time slot in order to be in place. So again, discipline. When you know you got things coming up, you got to put things in place. I had a friend. I'm gonna share. I'm not gonna share everything. I'm gonna give somebody else time to talk because y'all know
I
since I've
kind of
been
like this flow because it gives you all a chance to talk at different
yeah.
times. Y'all like this so far?
I have
Okay.
a I have a friend that said sharing some of their self-care and vision statements. Overthinking is the biggest waste of human energy.
You better
Trust
believe it.
yourself, make a decision, and gain more experience. There is no such thing as perfect. You cannot think your way into perfection. Just take action.
That's good.
Yeah, and I give you another one. And self-care, self-love is about participating in healthy environments that grow you and nourish you. It is also about cutting yourself off from evil and energy draining environments that kills you slowly.
Mm. That's some good feedback from a great friend right there, for sure.
Nice.
Nice feedback. Stop
Nice.
overthinking it and just start doing what you know God has
That's
already
it.
put in your spirit to do. I'm talking about this in a book that I'm writing right now. It's too much energy and effort into should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? How should I do it? Listen, go with what God is putting in your spirit to do and execute on it. So I agree. Now, who else didn't? Okay, who's next? I might be off. Sharon, you is your turn again? Okay,
Yeah, I
listen,
think it's my turn
it's your
again.
turn. But before you take a turn, let me take a moment to acknowledge the fact that many people are looking for
You're muted again.
this platform today is doing its own. Okay, this is crazy. It's muting me on its own. It's just like hitting buttons and I can hear songs over here. It's so crazy. Like
Wow.
literally, the commercials are playing and I'm hearing them, but I'm looking to see that you all are fine. And so I'm like, huh? What's happening? I'm in like some kind of psychedelic film over here. So you really do need to be able to flow with the flow sometimes, right? Anyway, going back to some of the basics, I actually had a product that was back in the day, classic. I was in my like 20s or so, early years. I don't remember exactly what years, but Les Brown, I used to travel with him and we would do a training on how to start and succeed in the seminar business. Well, I found the product and it was a 2 CD set. And I wanted to tell you all, it's no longer, I'm not going to put it out as a CD set because that's kind of dated. It's way back in the day, but we're doing it as an audio download. So we're going to have this available to you. We're actually getting it all digitized and everything. It's only $39.99 and it's on kimjacobsshow.com, right on the homepage there of the Shopify store. It comes with a PDF workbook as well. It's going to have the PowerPoint that we used back in the day. Y'all, it probably send you to the library with some of the stuff that it's going to tell you to do. But this timeless classic is available. You can go and do your pre-order thing, and it'll be within a few days. Here, you'll have it. $39.99. You can't beat that. So I'm sharing this with you because sometimes when we're doing self-care, we don't know what are our gifts and our talents. What are we supposed to be doing? That causes body stress, mental stress, and and I think that it's very helpful to know what is it that other people think I'm great at doing, and then compare that to what I know God is putting in my spirit to do and what I think I'm good at doing. So that way you kind of force rank with some things you should be walking in. Anyway, there's my thoughts too, because I'm also the balance doctor, so I might as well chime in a little bit every once in a while. All right, Sharon, talk to us.
Yeah, and that's definitely a form of self-care, especially when you're getting the opinions or feedback of others, because sometimes, we want to stay in our comfort zone. And so it really helps of not staying in our comfort zone. And I would say that's the next tip that I have is to challenge yourself. And so challenge yourself mentally, physically, and even I would like to say spiritually and even financially as well, because when we're pretty much, even though it may feel good and sometimes that adrenaline may get up a little bit, but sometimes the adrenaline can really help us to pretty much move
Right.
forward. when it comes to the things. And I will say, and I can say this from my own personal experience, because for most of my life, things are just, oh, just going the way that they need to go. And I'm just fine. But I tell you, challenging yourself or having some challenges are really helpful, especially when I want to say the hardness of the adversity to come, and especially what Kim was saying earlier in the show. You, what did you say? You said something about choice and
Oh,
what was it?
sometimes things happen by choice and some things happen to us by force that we would never want to have happen.
Exactly. And it's those things that happen by force that really challenges us. And one thing that I've come to realize is that when we're not challenged, we really don't know how to do that. Because even by me being a mental health person myself, a mental health therapist, if I've never, I mean, none of us are not going to ever experience every single thing. But like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of challenges in my life. Yes, I can, advise and tell people, certain things, but until you're able to really challenge yourself. And this is where even like exercise can really help. And like when it comes to yoga, in the asana form, and then also when it comes to I was about to say physical therapy, but not physical therapy, but personal training or any type of strength training, it really helps. Because I always remember this one time when I did have a personal trainer and I was on the doing the leg press, and I'm looking at the person, I was like, okay, what's wrong with this person? Why are they making me do this? But
Mhm.
just in that moment, I realized it was in alignment with life. When things are tough, what do I do? So this is another reason why it's so important to challenge yourself in so many different ways and to have people in your lives that challenging you too. It
I
may
love
not feel good, but it's going to help you come through things so that when things are forced upon you in life, even though it's nothing like what you personally challenge yourself
that's right.
with, but it really does help because of the dynamics that happens are very similar. And so it's really important, even though we want to be, in the sunshine and that's really good, but we need the rain to help us through life.
That's really, it's just some extremely powerful tips that if we apply these things, many of us get books, we get audio downloads, we hear from motivational speakers, celebrities, all of these people telling us different things to do. And all of the things that they're telling us, for the most part, are very helpful because that's what their areas of expertise is. But today, here on the Kim Jacobs Show, these experts are dropping significant knowledge that if you start applying it today, it will change the trajectory of your life. So thank you all for being here. Go ahead, Natasha. And I want to make sure we put your QR code up during this piece of your comment too.
All right. So this is all such good stuff. I love talking about self-care because it's not only good to hear, it's a good reminder because I'm guilty. I'm helping others all the time. And sometimes I gotta stop and say, I have to remember to do it myself, right?
That's right.
It's amazing how much we'll try and go and try and run on fumes.
Mhm.
So I touched on this a little bit, and I just wanted to stress a bit more the importance of knowing and understanding yourself when it comes to self-care. Because the better you understand yourself and know yourself, the better you can take the steps. Think about like if you take your car into the shop, they run a diagnostic, but that's because they've gone to the internals to check what's going on. So we've got to do some introspective check within ourselves to see what's not going well and then apply the self-care to that. Self-care we can do on a broader scope of just doing, things that are good for us in general. But how about we also look at what do I need in this season of my life? What do I need in this moment of my life? What was good for me 5 years ago, but maybe it's not good for me anymore.
Mhm.
Athena talked about elevating. So if I've elevated what might have been good for me at one stage, is not really doing anything for me at another stage. I'm going to give a quick personal example. When I was younger, I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I was on the same medication for 11 years. And then one day my body's like, not anymore, child. So one of the most effective ways to treat arthritis is now something that's harmful to me. And so part of my self-care is knowing what works for me and what doesn't, because now not only that medication, the whole class of medications I'm allergic to. There's nothing wrong with those medications, but they no longer are good for me. So my own self-care involves me learning and knowing what are the things that are safe for me to do. And so I just give that example for people to think about. You know, we read about things people do for self-care, but it doesn't always mean that's your fit.
That's right.
So you have to know yourself. You have to check in with yourself. You have to recognize that sometimes your self-care regimen or your self-care things that you do will need to be changed, will need to be updated, will need to be altered to meet you in the place that you're at in that moment. Right. So one thing I love to do, and I apologize as a therapist, I apologize to my clients at the beginning. I always say, get used to this. I use a lot of GPS analogies. Right. So I'm going to use one of my GPS analogies.
Go ahead.
One of the things GPSs do is, in order to give you directions, they have to know your exact location. Because if they start with where you were last week, they're going to give the wrong directions. So when you think about your self-care, where am I at now gives you better clarity on how to move forward. Because if I'm addressing my needs of last week, last year, 5 years ago, I'm not speaking to what I need right now. So assessing where you're at in this moment, getting your current location is very important in terms of how are you going to move forward and what steps do you take in your self-care.
Yeah, couldn't you do this all day? Like this should be just like a full day self-care-a-thon workshop or something. And so if we do that here on the Kim Jacobs Show, do you all commit to coming back and doing this? You would?
Got it.
And would anybody be interested in having that happen one day on the Kim Jacobs Show? We do a whole self-care-a-thon and merge it with some other stuff. If so, please put it in the comment section. It would be free, a gift from us to you all, and bringing in some of these experts to talk about all kinds of things, because I am learning so much from you all today. All right. Listen, I just put in the comment section, Mackenzie, who is one of our team members with the Kim Jacobs Show. She's having a baby girl coming up soon. So I want to make sure that you know to support her. And she put her baby registry there. If you want to gift her something, her registry is there in the comment section. So support and pour some love onto the Rhodes family. Okay. We love celebrating all of our team members. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Thank you so much, Cassandra, who is often many times behind the scenes, but she's always so helpful. Let me put this QR code up too, if you don't mind, for Natasha Halliday, and talk to us about that for a second, Natasha.
So the QR code gives people an opportunity to do a quick survey to say what they thought about the information that I've presented. But if anybody is having an event where they're looking for this type of information, I also am a speaker. And so if you want to hire me, if you want to have me bring more of this valuable information, click the QR code, fill out the quick survey. But there's also an opportunity to look at how to get connected with me to get more of this type of information.
Woohoo! And you definitely want to screenshot that and take advantage of it, because Natasha clearly is dropping some significant knowledge, and your audience is going to walk away full, ready to execute on whatever she's sharing. Okay, Sunshine Expert, share some more tips with us if you have a few more.
Okay, so for me, what works for me, I don't know if I shared this already, but I'm gonna tell you what works for me. Besides prayer, meditation, I always encourage my friends to take deep breaths. It's okay to stop throughout the day and take a deep breath just to refocus, to recenter, kind of to reset, and then move forward. Especially I work with students all day. I work with college students all day. I work with parents all day. So sometimes I have to, even in the midst of greeting somebody, and depending on the vibe I get across the counter, it's like, let me turn around. Let me take a deep breath. I'm gonna turn back around to them. I'm gonna greet them one more time. We're gonna start over. Sometimes they look at me like, what is this lady doing? I'm just resetting for Athena so I can better serve you. I like to journal. I love to walk, and music is one of my passions. I love music. So I can listen to any instrumentals, any ocean sounds because I love water as well, any rain sounds. These are just some of the things that works for my self-care. Let me say that for Athena's self-care. Feel free to use them as some good tips. Number two, if there's anybody that's watching, that's going to watch it now or will watch the replay later, and it might be somebody new, which we're always looking for new viewers to give us feedback on the Kim Jacobs show, to let
Come
Kim know
on.
how
Call
awesome
to
she's
action.
doing and how awesome these Freestyle Friday experts is doing, and any other expert that joined throughout the week. It's just not on Fridays because Kim on Monday through Friday. So let's say that and this is just some tips I wrote down. For an example, if you were up for an interview because you're about to go up for a promotion, but to get the promotion, they're going to send you they're going to send you back through the interview process. It happens. It does happen. What would be some things that will help you create for success? So if you're up for this promotion and your supervisor said, "Hey, I got a job posting, a job position. I think you'll be perfect for it,
Yeah.
but you got to apply with the regular interviewers." Sure, no problem. Got you. It should be a breeze to you.
Mhm.
You want to prepare for that. This is leading you to success. Now I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna set you up real good. So you want to make sure that your cover letter and your resume, you want to make sure you touch that up. What you presented when you first got the job a year or two ago, you might have it came a long way. So you got to touch it up and do some refurbishing, adding some more finishing touches to it since you're going up for this promotion. You want to make sure that you include, in a part of that, that it might goes into your resume or your cover letter, any trainings, any workshops, and the accomplishments you might have earned along the way, from where you are now that's going to elevate you to the next. You want to make sure you include that. You want to include any new assignments that shows your job performance, any team collaborations or any projects that you've done, to show that you're a team player, that you out here getting it. That's on the job part. Now let's switch and talk about the self part and talk about the self-care part. You want to make sure, again, if you pray, if you meditate, you might get up, getting a cup of coffee, listen to nature in the morning. That might work for you to get your day started. You want to make sure that you eat a balanced meal. You want to make sure that you review any interview questions or even call a friend, do a mock interview. YouTube got so many videos out here now. You always got resources to reach out to. Just letting it be known, you always got resources. You want to prepare your clothes the night before. What you gonna wear? Either you want to prepare them the day or the night before. Um, what you're going to wear, how is it going to look, so you're not rushing at the last minute. This is just setting you up for success. I'm just telling you, you got to prep, plan, prepare, and you got to plan, and you got to move forward. You want to make sure you get some rest. It would be nice for you to get an 8 hours rest, but if you can't, I say don't go no more than less 6 hours. But my two experts on here, my two sisters, they probably could tell you how much sleep you might need to get your day started off right. You want to make
Somebody
sure
said
that
they got their coffee in their hand, Lady
the
Justine.
coffee in their hand.
And Annetta Caldwell says she wants to be a part of that whole thon that we do, and she's going to be involved and be one of the experts coming on too. So we'll have to do it probably on a weekend. We're going to get y'all. Go ahead. What's your next point?
And you want to make sure that all your schedules line up. If you're like me and like my ladies on this line, I know we're all busy. We got busy schedules. So somebody got a calendar somewhere where they got everything set up. They got all their appointments set up. You want to make sure that your schedules are prepared and ahead of time. You want to make sure you're getting your exercise. That could be walking, running, going to the
Girl,
gym.
you got a whole book over there.
I'm telling you what works for you. And my last one,
That's a book. You better put that in a book right there.
I'm gonna put it in a book. And my last one is give yourself a 20-minute window. Oftentimes when we get ready to go to interviews, or even if before your next appointment, which I'm pretty sure Miss Sharon could probably share with her clients, or Natasha with her clients, that you need to give yourself a window to breathe easy. I'm pretty sure Miss Sharon don't see one client and she just zoom and go into the next client. She needs the time to decompress, debrief, and get refreshed, refocused before she moves forward. So you want to make sure you give yourself a 20-minute window of time. Go ahead. 20-minute window of time. Thank you, sis. Before and after to be said. And I think you'll do great. I think the job is already yours if you set yourself up for it.
So y'all came for self-care. You done got self-care, you got discipline, you got workout, you got GPS instructions, you name it. It's happened here. Listen,
Happened.
how can people stay connected with you, Athena? Because I'm going to give a closing comment to each of you, Sharon and Natasha as well, and tell people how to stay connected with you. Go ahead, Athena.
So you can stay connected with me, Athena Robertson, on Facebook. Athena Robertson, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on LinkedIn at Athena Robertson. You can find me on IG at Red Honey. On IG, that's REDHONII and the number 7. That's on Instagram.
All right. Thank you, our sunshine expert. Give us a closing comment, if you will, Sharon D. Brown, who came up with this wonderful topic today, self-care, your way to success, and tell us how they can stay connected with you.
Yes. So my closing comment is, when it comes to self-care, remember, in making decision is a form of self-care too, and especially difficult decisions. Sometimes we think avoiding it make us feel good, but in the long run, it's really not helpful. So just remember, in really almost in everything that you do is either going to be helpful in a self-care way, or it's not going to be helpful as well. And so a way to get in touch with me is IG is I am Sharon D. Brown. And also I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on YouTube as Sharon D. Brown as well.
Sharon D. Brown. Make sure you all stay connected with her. If you reach out and DM her on Instagram, you're going to be able to get her on that platform. I'm thoroughly impressed with you coming on as our self-care expert. We have another self-care expert too, Rita Garnto, who comes on sometimes. I'm going to bring you both on together here because everybody connects with different pieces of the audience at a different level. So I'm loving what I'm hearing. Final comments, if you will, Natasha Halliday, and how people they can stay connected with you.
So staying connected with me, LinkedIn, Facebook, IG, Natasha A. Halliday, NATASHAAHALLIDAY. I have the monopoly on A's. My name. And my middle name. Well, the A, I put the initial for my middle name because there's an A in my middle name. And my last thing is I spoke about how knowing yourself, KNOW, is part of your self-care. And now I'm going to add, say no for yourself. NO is also part of your self-care.
Come through. No. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, I'm multiple people here. I've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. This has been an incredible episode today. Listen, I am also doing a training with people on how to start your own show from scratch and being able to hear the audience. People requested that I do a group training, and I really wasn't thinking about doing that, but I'm now working with 5 individuals. We already have 4 seats filled, so we have 1 seat left to start with this upcoming Monday's training. So if you're interested in being in a group of 5, you're going to bounce ideas off of each other. You'll also get the opportunity to save significant money, but you're going to still get the same outcome, which is a show that you own the content and creation of, which is unbelievable that I'm even doing this. I'm amazed that I'm doing it. But anyway, if you're interested in being the final seat in this cohort that starts on Monday, you can email me at kim@thebalancedoctor.tv and let me know, and I will get you included into this class. I'm excited about helping people's dreams come true. So thank you for being here today, everyone. Okay. And thank you for being in the studio audience. Thank you, our experts. You are amazing. Athena had to go back to work, and we're getting ready to close out right now. Everybody have a great day. And thank you for all your comments. Bye. We love you all. And we'll see you Monday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye. Have a great one. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience.